Most exciting destination in all of northern Wisconsin. LCO Casino Lodge and Convention Center, Hayward. LCO.
Hello, I'm Kimberlie, and welcome to the weekend edition of the Native News Update. It's Friday, September 22nd. Many of the stories you hear here can be found at IndianCountryNews.com. And here's the news for today from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. The Mitchell Museum is celebrating its 40th anniversary this month. John Mayo Mitchell donated his lifelong collection of 3,000 artifacts to the Kendall College in Illinois back in 1977. Through that donation, the Mitchell Museum of the American Indian was born. Today, the museum is home to over 10,000 artifacts. According to the executive director, Kathleen McDonald, the museum is unique due to its scope that only a handful of institutions in the U.S. share with them. What sets the museum apart is that it covers all of tribes in the U.S. and Canada, which gives them more than 1,200 unique cultures to draw from, with 567 federally recognized tribes in the U.S., and another 640 bands of First Nation peoples in Canada. In the Chicago area alone, 40,000 Native people call the city home, representing 150 plus tribes. The latest exhibit, Contemporary Native Women Opening Doors to Change, was recently awarded the Illinois Association of Museums Superior Achievement Award and focuses on the work of 12 women that have been activists in their communities, working to fight for water rights, tribal sovereignty, and social and economic issues. By the time the exhibit has wrapped later this year, 7 of the women will have visited and talked about these contemporary issues. For more information, you can check out mitchellmuseum.org. Medill professor Patty Loew will serve as the first director of Northwestern University's new Center for Native American and Indigenous Research in Chicago, Illinois. Loew, who began the position this month, said the center will build relationships with Native communities, provide resources for research, and educate the general public about Native American history and cultures. The center, funded by a $1.5 million grant from the Andrew W. Mellon Foundation, which is part of the Weinberg College of Arts and Science, will serve as the university's primary institutional space dedicated to advancing scholarship, teaching, learning, and artistic or cultural practices related to Native American and Indigenous communities. Randy Lathrop, a Florida photographer on an early morning bike ride the day after Hurricane Irma ravaged the coast, stumbled upon an exciting find: a dugout canoe that may be hundreds of years old. The canoe washed up from the Indian River north of Cocoa, Florida. Lathrop immediately contacted the Florida Division of Historical Resources before someone could mistake it for debris and throw it away. The 15-foot-long canoe could be anywhere from several decades to several hundred years old, according to Sarah Revel, a spokeswoman for the department. An island at the tip of northeastern Minnesota has been returned to the Grand Portage Band of Lake Superior, Chippewa. The 142-acre Susie Island is the largest of 13 small and rocky islands in Lake Superior, just before the Canadian border. The islands are home to some of Minnesota's rarest plant life. The tribe worked closely with the Nature Conservancy to bring the island back under the tribe's control. The area was originally left out of the 1854 treaty that established the borders of the Grand Portage Reservation. Leaders of the Red Lake Reservation hope to feed the roughly 5,000 tribal citizens who live there with fresh organic produce grown on the northern Minnesota reservation. The tribe has expanded their garden to a 4-acre patch of farmland on the southwestern border of the reservation. The garden is using fish guts from the tribe's walleye processing facility to fertilize the land and help the crops grow. David Manuel, who runs the test garden, said tribal leaders hope to distribute local organic foods throughout the reservation to help people eat smarter and healthier. Their goal is to grow enough crops to feed all members within 5 years. In addition to the test farm, the tribe has 800 acres of domestic wild rice. Most of the wild rice crop was sold off the reservation until recently. The tribe is also working on adding an industrial indoor growing facility and creating an area for bison herd that will arrive later this fall. And that's another roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. I'd like to thank you for joining me and have a grand day.